And as we roll on our post-game show here on the St. Mary's IMG Network, now joined by our Crown Plaza Concord player of the game, it's Jock Landale. Let's give you a little more slack there, Jock. Are we good?
Yep.
I think everyone can hear you. I'm not sure if I mentioned this to you, but when we had you on at Dayton, we had a little problem with our equipment, so nobody could hear. Everyone heard me asking you questions. No one could hear what you were saying.
Really?
Unless this microphone is really sensitive. So now we're good, I think.
Yeah, that was your fault, not mine.
No comment. All right, so, hey, listen, back on the right foot tonight against UC Irvine. It looked like you came out of the gates with some urgency and got out right to that 12-3 run. This is the wrong box score I'm looking at, but got right out to that 12-3 run against Irvine. What was the feeling before this game? Did you feel anything different? Was there a sense of urgency coming from your leaders, or was it, hey, just another night, let's go out and do what we do?
I think that we really wanted to prove to ourselves that we could play a lot better than we did last game. We tried to move on as quickly as we could, but I think that we had a little bit of a chip on our shoulder. And I mean, the word in the locker room was just come out, play as hard as we can, and everything else should follow.
Oh, you did that, and you did it right away. I mean, how important was it to get off to a good start tonight?
Oh, really
coming off the loss.
Yeah, really important. These guys are a good team. We knew that if they start running downhill on transition and hitting threes, that they could really make a run at us. So we just tried to take that away as much as we could, and it worked.
And you were drawn with a probably the biggest challenge tonight because of their front line, Demokopoulos, the 7-2, and then they bring off so much depth and size off their bench. And you held, you along with Dane and Fitz was in there a little bit, hold Demokopoulos to 1 of 8 shooting in just 2 points. He averages 10 per game. What was the philosophy going in on him? Because we know he could stretch it out to the 3-point line. He's a big physical body.
Well, we didn't really rely on just us bigs. It was kind of a team cover. We said that we were going to bring down the guards from the strong side and dig on the ball when he tried to make a move. So it was really just a team cover, and everyone did their job right, and it seemed to work.
He also held Jonathan Galloway, who's he's been their kind of energy guy with he averages 6.5 rebounds per game, but he did not make his presence felt in this one. He's in a little bit of foul trouble, but keeping him off the boards was big as well, not letting them get second opportunities.
Absolutely. Well, Fitz did an unbelievable job on him. Fitz obviously hasn't had the start to the season he did last year, but this time around he really came out, and we said to him at the start of the game, just do what you do, and he came out and it showed. Like, he's a great defender, and it really showed tonight.
Yeah, and talk about Fitz. I mean, not just defensively, but offensively. I mean, it seems like he started playing with a little bit more confidence in this one, and that's a big part to what you guys do. If he can get going, especially offensively, he can get going to help stretch that floor for you, it brings another dimension.
Yeah, absolutely. If Fitz can get going from the outside, it creates so much space throughout the middle because it means there's just one less guy helping down on, the guards driving or us posts trying to make a move and stuff like that. So if he can start hitting his shots like he did tonight and keep that up, then obviously, it really opens things up.
It's nice to see some of the depth get an extended run tonight. 15 minutes for Jordan Ford, and I thought he was really effective running the point. He's a young guy who gives you a little something that you don't necessarily have in your starting guard line of Emmett and Joe.
Right, yeah, no, he came out and we know Ford can score. He's one of the best scorers on our team. He hasn't been playing many minutes to start the season, but we know that's exactly what he can do. So, and we just say, like, whenever he gets the ball in the backcourt, just to push it and try and get to the other end of the floor, because he can just break anyone down. Like, he's got some of the best handles I've ever seen. So,
and he's quick. I mean, it
quick.
changes pace really nicely.
Right.
And now your approach coming into this one, you knew it would be a rugged game down there. Offensively, you were able to have your way a little bit and get to the free throw line. That was a big part of it.
That was a big part. I knew that these guys were bigger than me, so I just tried to go through their body and try and draw as many fouls as I could, and it worked. So it always helps if I can get to the line.
You look forward to finals are done now, right? So
yes,
I'm sure you guys are really happy about that.
Absolutely.
But now you can look forward to Wednesday, get a nice few days off, get a couple good practices in, because I know practices during finals week can be a little bit disjointed, right? I mean, with the different hours.
It's just like something else to worry about now for the next 4 or 5 weeks. All we have to worry about is basketball, and it's great. It's the best time of the year. And that routine, getting back into that routine is really important. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, hey, Jock, congratulations on the win tonight, man. Nice night for yourself as well, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jock Landale, Crown Plaza player of the game. Crown Plaza, the hotel choice for St. Mary's Athletics. Now let's hear from the coach. Marty Clarke has a seat. And let's hear from the coach, brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, proud partner of St. Mary's Athletics. Coach just talked about it with Jock. It seemed like you guys well, the guys on the floor anyway came out with a bit more of a sense of urgency tonight, and it showed out to a 12-3 run.
Yeah, it certainly was compared to the other night. I mean, I thought we actually didn't start so bad the other night. When we didn't make shots and they made a run, we couldn't get it back under control quick enough, and it just left too big a hole. But tonight there was none of that. I thought the guys played well. We played to our offensive game plan of trying to go inside early. And Jock obviously did his part there. He played well. I think he got a bit of a nick in the knee there. But he's okay. So he came back and played well. Jordan Hunter played well. Dane Pinot gave us good minutes down
Jordan
in
Hunter,
the post.
I forgot to mention that, yeah.
And Fitzy. I think Fitzy had his best game of the year. I mean, just let the game come to him. Took open shots when they were there, and put it on the floor and got to the hoop. It's good to see. It's good for Fitzy to feel good about himself. He's probably never going to show it, but there's something going on inside that mind of his. We've just got to make sure it's the positive thing.
Yeah, I just talked about that with Jock. Offensively, he just hasn't had the same impact so far this year that he had last season. And maybe tonight is the night to kind of get him going. Tonight he looked the most confident to me that he's looked all season. How important is it on the offensive standpoint? Forget about the job he did defensively for right now, but on the offensive side of the floor, how important is it to get him going? He brings another dimension to you.
Yeah, I mean, when Fitzy's knocking shots down, it spreads the floor so much for the other post player, or for the post player. And we really play 4 out. And if teams have to guard him like they should have to guard him, and like they had to last year, it just gives more space for the post player, but it certainly gives more space for our ability to penetrate. You can't help off the ball screen action with Fitz in it as much, so it means our guards get layups. If you help too much, we got him early on with a pick and pop and made that, and he's away. I thought he played really well.
And for him to be able to play 30 minutes as he did tonight, which I believe is a season high, he's got to be doing his job on the defensive end as well. And he drew Jonathan Galloway, and Galloway, boy, I barely said his name tonight. Yeah,
no, he really did a nice job there. And we knew what Galloway's game was. Galloway was going to be ducking in hard down on the low post and really trying to bang bodies in there, which is not particularly Fitz's game, but he did it manfully and made sure he fronted the post and didn't allow the thing in there.
Nice to see some of these other guys get an extended run, some extended minutes. Jordan Ford with 15 minutes tonight. And he was really effective when he was out there. Like you said, he gives you something you don't have in Emmett and Joe. And I think that showed tonight. A little bit of quickness, and his ball handling is very good.
Yeah, he's a scorer. He's a scorer by nature, and that's great. We're not going to try and change him out of that. And you put him on the floor, and he can get into seams and cracks that maybe Joe and Emmett struggle to do at times. But once he gets in there, he then has the ability to get up above the rim. And he has a really nice touch. He just sits on the rod. Just having a quick look at the stats here is, he's 4 or 5. I mean, there's some shots that you say, oh, that's a tough one. But for him, that's his game. He's grown up playing that way, and why would you change something he's good at? I thought he played very well.
You mentioned Jordan Hunter, too. Really productive in 5 minutes. I mean, he had the buzzer beater, of course, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. But it was also it's an awareness issue. You understand there's a certain amount of time on the clock. You go and you get a steal, and you've only got X amount of seconds to get it back up again. I think it was 1.3 or something. And he had enough awareness and enough body balance to be able to get up, get the steal, take a dribble to get himself on balance, and then let it go. And he had some nice rebounds. I thought he did a good job defensively, and it's going to be now just repetition for him. Again, repetitions of practice and starting to get a few more minutes in games, and we think he's going to be very good. It's just when you make that breakthrough, and that's always the frustrating thing for players is being able to do it consistently. And Geordie's starting to do that at practice, which is a great sign for him.
You talk about a rugged team who wants to slow things down, maybe get to the line a little bit. You guys only committed 13 fouls. I mean, that's you defended really well tonight.
Yeah, defended well. A couple of fouls were offensive fouls, or like fouls setting screens. I know Dane had 2 of them, and I think Jock Landale might have had 1. So really, our ability to defend the ball without fouling, that was a big key for us, because they are quick. Their guards are quick, and they like to penetrate. That's always going to put you in a position where you may foul. And I thought we did a good job of keeping our hands out and just sliding our feet. And I thought it was a really good job defensively.
How important was a good start tonight just for your guys? I mean, I think a lot of people kind of take the loss the other night, and I think they make too big of a deal of it. I mean, it's one game. It was a good team,
Very
right?
good team.
But getting off to a good start just for your guys tonight, is that something you guys really look at? Is that important to you?
Yeah, it's certainly important for a number of reasons. One, especially when you're playing against a relatively young team. If you let them hang around and feel like they are going to compete with you, then youthful enthusiasm and confidence builds, and it's hard to contain that. So we knew we had to do a good job defensively right from the start, and I think it's important for our guys. They practiced really well yesterday. We had a hard practice yesterday, and the guys practiced really well. And to then see that translate to a game, I think is an important thing. If you put the work in and it doesn't quite come out in the game, you can start to question yourself. But I thought they practiced hard. They stuck with the game plan, and in the end, we knew it was going to be a defensive grind, and we were going to have to do a good job with that.
And coming out of finals, I mean, you hear a lot of college basketball coaches talk about it. I mean, that's something I think a lot of people don't acknowledge, but it does have an effect on the way you practice and the routine you set yourself into in the first month of the season. It'll be nice to get that back here in the next 4 or 5 weeks.
It's the mental letdown of the stress of exams too, and you think exams are done, you just take a deep breath and oh, good, thank goodness that's out of the way. But you've got to get yourself back up that night to go and play. And there's a whole range of things. But in the end, that's part of the process of learning how to be an elite athlete. And that's what these guys want to be. They're students, clearly, but they want to be elite at whatever they go into, whether it's athletics or whether it's work after school. It's a process of learning how to be elite. And, last game, I thought we probably took a step backwards.
And this game, what's nice to see, though, is this game you take another
absolutely.
step forward.
Oh,
because you play well. I mean, you shoot over 50% again, but that routine, just getting back into that routine is so important heading down the stretch. Well, let's take a look at Western Kentucky quickly. I mean, you look forward to them. And
they're good.
They've been a good program for a while now.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you guys have been able to look at them, as you've got a few days now to practice between now and Wednesday, but Western Kentucky, I'm not sure if you've seen them, but what stands out?
Yeah, I haven't seen them. Obviously, it's Coach Schroeder's scout, but I'll look at them tonight.
Schroeder's a scout.
Yeah, that they are traditionally a strong program. They produce players. They have guys in the NBA. I know they've had guys that come to Australia and play and have played well on us. So I'm familiar with that program and the basketball tradition that goes with it. They play in a league that they will probably expect to win. I know they beat Indiana State today comfortably after Indiana State rolled Butler. So it's going to be a game, no doubt. There'll be athletes, they'll be strong, they'll be aggressive, and they'll be confident guys.
Yeah, and they won that game against Indiana State on the road, too.
Yeah.
Another good test for you guys. But the important thing is you get nice routine back and get a couple good hard practices in before Wednesday. You got anything else?
No, that's all good.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. Thanks, AJ.
Marty Clarke joining us on the postgame. Let's hear from the coach. Brought to you by Shamrock Office Solutions, delivering digital copier and technology solutions to the Bay Area for over 15 years. Visit them online at Shamrock Office.